Yes, on Doomsday Raptors side, they're playing quite defensively. I have been speaking to a lot of players, some champions, some challengers, some Division 4 players. All of them respectively seem to be a running trend of you cannot be defensive. This field is not designed for it. You cannot employ the Maginot line defense technique, which Doomsday Raptors have seemed to taken up. Remember, that patent is still pending, so I don't want to hear that crossing your lips. Hooligan locking down the field at the moment. If I do remember right, it's Mercy 2 in Division 4, which is obviously then 6 minutes a game. This whole cluster snake area seeing a lot of action. Doomsday dropping a player there. Not sure who it was. Hooligan's communication absolutely spectacular. Oh, it is good to be back. Super Cup 2018 on this Friday morning. We're going to have to check out some of the weather updates. A bit always of a worry, but we're not going to lose any hair about it. Hooligan still holding down the field. They do have a bit of a better field advantage. The gun advantage at the moment, no idea. I've got eyes on 3 Hoolies. I'm pretty sure there are 4 of them, though. If not 5. Doomsday. Now have 3 up at the moment. There on your screen now you can see that cluster snake with that half brick there. I mean, you know, many people have been saying a few things about it. Yo, but it is an interesting field to say in the least. Even the refs themselves having something to say about it, saying it's just blind lane after blind lane. You're essentially getting shot and you're not 100% sure where it came from. These big half bricks being utilized well by Hooligan. There on your screen you can see 1, 2, 3. I've got eyes on 3, 4, 5. Wait, 4. I think there is still a 5th. Doomsday, I know of 3 alive, might be 4. Time is ticking away. One of the longer points that we tend to have then in Mercy 2 games, Division 4. A bit more a ragtag action-packed. Oh, it is good to be back. A little bit of cloud cover out here in Anaconda Emerald Casino, but we can already see it clearing. The river is looking absolutely spectacular. Most definitely going to go hopping for a dip. Doomsday Raptor player getting checked and being called out on that far right bunker, safety bunker, so he's been put out. Hooligan taking their time, picking off their players. Bit better communication coming out of Doomsday. I see Hoolies finally lost one of their far bunker players as well, exiting the field there. Excuse me, bit of a frog in the throat there. Another ref has a big slide in to have a look. Snake being utilized. We will change screen in a second. You'll be able to see that snake player there using that half brick. Doomsday Raptors moving up though. There's only 2 left. A lot of paint being thrown down. Remember, got to keep an eye on that time. Only 2 minutes left. This is only going to be a 1-pointer by the looks of it. But it does mean the next one's going to see some aggressions. Hooligan lose another player. There's going to be some snake action on your screen. There is literally 3 players within each other. I must whisper, they know I'm here. We're going to see some action. These ladies have to be aware. She has to be careful not to get picked on the left. Oh, now they're aware of one another. One's been picked up. This cluster of a snake action here, absolutely keeping things enthralling. Oi, Hooligan player tried to back up, give her some yardage, but didn't come right to it. She wore it in the back.
Snake one only, snake one only.
It seems Hooligan was doing better, had the advantage, but now there's going to be a cross section. Doomsday running around for the point. Hooligan's going to pick her up. She's going to see it, having a shot or 2 there. Did she pick up the play? It doesn't seem like she picked her up. God picked up herself. Oi, Team Hooligan with the advantage. Doomsday Raptors with a bit of patience bringing home the point there. Obviously that player needing to be checked. I think Hooligan played really well there. They're going to kick themselves a little bit. It did seem that they had an advantage there and they just couldn't do the longer yards there. We're going to wait for that point confirmation. There we go, as you saw on your screen. First point, Doomsday Raptors. Team Hooligan playing an interesting game. I honestly thought they had that, not in the bag, but I thought they played a little better, but then threw it away a bit there. remember, we've got 4 teams within a set. The next set next set of teams, Suicide Squad, and I don't actually know this team
30
name.
seconds.
Heroes Reloaded, apparently. So with that division, the 4th game, a Western Cape team, as I'm being told in the
20
booth here.
seconds.
So Heroes Reloaded and Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad will be breaking left to right, and Heroes Reloaded with my favorite jerseys, ever on a paintball field, because
10
those
seconds.
men are suited up for business.
Game on.
Big, aggressive breakup by both teams. Those half bricks being used in the center field, just out of that snake corner there. A player on each brick. Ref running in for a check behind the ear hole. Gets picked up. Oh, that player's going to be frustrated. Yes, I say frustrated like that. It's for a reason. Heroes Reloaded dropping a gun. I see Suicide Squad's dropped one too. Now that snake cluster getting involved once again. Oh, I'm looking forward to this snake, eh? A lot of paint being thrown into that corner bunker, into the far safety side. I mean, look on your screen. That's one of the Heroes Reloaded players right there in that safe snake side corner bunker. A little bit defensive, and I mentioned earlier that most of the guys I've spoken to about this, and girls of course, has mentioned it is not a defensive field. You have to come out the blocks. Not obviously overly aggressive, but you literally just cannot sit back and employ a defensive tactic. Heroes Reloaded moving up on those teabag corners you saw running in your background. I think he got picked up for his effort there. Suicide Squad player in that middle cluster of snakes. Big moves. He's opening up the field on that teabag side. We're going to eat some paint very shortly, I can tell you that much. Oh, it's an early day to get painted. Suicide Squad player getting picked up for his effort there. Wearing it in the mask, as I might add. I'm not sure of your gun count at the moment. I do see Suicide Squad have a couple players in the back. I see a Hero Reloaded player leaving the field. There you go. Towel thrown in.
Point approved.
By Heroes Reloaded. So Suicide Squad goes one man up. Looked like that could have gone either way for a second there. Some good plays. But again, this snake cluster, I'm not going to stop talking about it because the players aren't going to stop using it. It is exciting. It is literally almost 2 snakes running parallel to one another with 2 wing bunkers. Then also a big half brick in the middle with 2 giant bricks just outside, a bit more infield. Completely mixing it up. You can see it's absolute madness, actually. There's no way around that. We're back to Team Hooligan and Doomsday Raptors. They will be swapping sides. So Hooligan will be breaking right to left. At the moment, Raptors have the lead. If they win this, they go straight up because there's no playing games. Let's see how they can do this, though.
60 seconds.
There's not much time on the clock, so Hooligans are going to have to try change something up to try and draw it up. Already a Doomsday player moving into the outside snake side. Remember, essentially, this new snake cluster gives you 3 layers of bunkers to play with. Team Hooligan losing a player. There's a lot of paint being thrown into the snake, but they're not sure which bunkers he's in. Doomsday Raptors lost 1, make that 2 players. Team Hooligan player moves up from the back temple up into teabag 1. Another Hooligan player picked off. This seems similar to the first point where Team Hooligan has the advantage and then doesn't quite just take advantage of it. We're going to go to another cut now of the snake corner where Ethan is playing. Hooligan loses another player. I think it was literally Ethan who picked him up. I can't quite tell.
Game time finished. Game finished.
Game time finish. This is what happens. You've got to keep an eye on that clock. You can see I'm out of practice because I even missed it. It does mean that Doomsday Raptors beat Team Hooligan 1-0. But Hooligan can take heart. They played very well, especially for that 1 point. I feel they were a little unlucky not to take a point there.
30 seconds.
But well done, Doomsday Raptors, and of course, Team Hooligan. The next set, though, Suicide Squad versus Heroes Reloaded. Exciting stuff. The timeout has been called. There is over 4 minutes, though. So lots of game time, so to speak. They'll be swapping sides as well. What will Suicide Squad be doing? Head ref Byron van Staden and his trained Dolphins keeping us through the day, making sure that if there's any contentious efforts, they'll try their best to get it right.
1 minute.
And probably annoy one side or another, but that's part of it as well. But anyway, as mentioned, this new field is too much to talk about. On your screen now is a great angle of it, actually, because you can see that layer debunking on the snake just on the right-hand side. Then you can see one of those bricks, which is mirrored on the other side. Very little center cluster play. There's no wall to run onto. Not sure what Reaper's tactics are going to be in that, because we know they favored that a little bit too much. But we'll have a look-see doodle. It is not a defensive game, and that seems to be the running train of thought. So we'll have to have a look there. This new field, I love it. I absolutely love
20
it.
seconds.
Because if more people are getting bunkered, the better.
Ten seconds.
So there you have it, 10 seconds. 4 minutes on the clock. Suicide Squad versus Heroes Reloaded. Ooh, lots of time to play, but it's messy too. Heroes Reloaded are going to have to be on the ball. Suicide Squad, one big player, two big players up to the bricks. They're reflected on those bricks straight off the bat. Player checking himself. Ref comes in to double check, make sure. Has been cleared to play. I see they've lost the player. Heroes Reloaded and Suicide Squad. There's a huge Suicide Squad player on the far right-hand side of the field. He's up to the 50 bunk brick. In that teabag lane. There's been a player called. There's been a foul. Yellow flag. I can't tell if it was yellow or red. Heroes Reloaded going to have to back this up. This is the worst they could have done. Players pulled. This is what Suicide Squad would have wanted. They're going to move up. Player in that 50 brick of snake. There definitely is a Heroes Reloaded player on that far side of the field. Teabag side, and definitely in the snake side corner, unless he's been picked off, which he has been. So only one man left on the far teabag side, and he's been picked off. And that's that. That's all she wrote. Suicide Squad taking that cleanly, 2-0 in under 3 minutes, depending when they hit the buzzer, but more or less so. Heroes Reloaded playing quite well there. They were a bit unlucky. You can't take those flags, unfortunately. That always causes a few problems. Is that our first set done already? Oh, my heavens. How's this happened? Our first set done already. Absolutely spectacular. Emerald Casino Super Cup 2018, the one that everyone looks forward to, builds up and hypes up.
Base.
Base has been hit. Suicide Squad waiting approval. Let's just see when we can have a look-see there on a nice angle. There we go. So, Western Cape team, Hero Reloaded, going down to 2-0 to Suicide Squad. That is your first set of the day. We have run a little bit late, but we're already catching up time, so that is absolutely spectacular. We should be good in business soon. Whilst the next team's prep, I'm going to take a quick breather. It's going to be Anaconda versus Demolition Squad. Brutal Division, Brutal Division, Brutal Affliction 3 and the Syndicate will be getting ready. Remember, Division 4 at the SARPL Super Cup 2018. My name is Adam Zawada, and don't go anywhere.
Right, we're setting up for the next set.
And we are back. See, that wasn't very long until the action comes back now, is it? Our next set of teams, Anaconda Patrol versus Demolition Squad, Brutal Affliction 3 versus the Syndicate. It will all be on your screen at the moment in that light green, should be, I believe that's Anaconda. Yeah, Anaconda. Then obviously some Demolition Squad there as well. Lots of action Division 4. Remember, Mercy 2. We're already catching up some time here, which is always good to see. I can't keep quiet about this field. I'm probably being a little belligerent, but hey, that's the way of the world. No, I'm just playing. What was I saying? See, I've completely lost my train of thought. Anyway. 1 minute 10 seconds, and the action is going to be right back. Remember, this event brought to you from the Emerald Casino Resort and Spa by the SARPL at Super Cup 2018. The place to
1
be
minute.
on a Friday morning. If you're still stuck in the office, tell your friends, tell your family. This will cheer them up. "40 seconds left. Oh, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. The timing. I've never seen seconds drag like this. Seems to happen a lot, though, whenever you are waiting for it. But hey. Still a lot of games to come up.
30
Remember,
seconds.
we're here until 4 or 5 o'clock today. We've also got the AFCON happening with Gauteng Under-19s, Gauteng Men's, Western Province, Eastern Cape, all getting involved,
20 seconds.
which is great to see. That goes up to Mercy 4, though. There's also some 3-man that will be streamed later as well, and also some AFCON semis and finals respectively.
10 seconds.
But there's your 10-second counter for Anaconda Patrol breaking a left to right and Demolition Squad right to left. So Demolition in bright green and
Game
blue,
on.
that's on their break right to left. So far, no one getting picked off the break. Those big bricks, that Snake 50 brick cluster being used, and then that brick on the right-hand side of the field by Demolition Squad, I believe. Yes, that is correct. A lot of shouting happening at the moment, a hell of a lot of shouting. It's good to see that communication up there. The team's always wanting to work on that. Bit of paint in the booth. We didn't wear it, though. These players are literally, you can see on your screen there how close they are to one another. You could spit and hit each other on top of their head. They're going to have to juke it off. That hopper has to be careful. They're watching one another like hawks. Belligerent eagles having a look. There, that hopper being hit just as I said it. He got hit on the hopper. Other player getting checked in the brick, cleared out. No foul, though, because he didn't carry on playing. Got to avoid those yellow flags. Got to avoid the reds. Refs doing their job here, of course. They've got a long day ahead of them. Lots of heat out there. Let's hope there's no heat stroke involved. I love that, by the way. As you can see, the Super Cup in the corner of your screen on the grass. That's how you know we're a professional affair out here. The cricket, the football, the rugby. We also have our stuff painted on grass. That's how serious we are. Next year we're going to be better, and it's actually going to be a watermark on the screen itself, and no paint here. Good communication coming on the left-hand side of Anaconda Patrol. Demolition Squad dropping a few bodies at the moment. Those teabags being used quite effectively. Now moving up to that half brick as well. On your screen, you're watching Demolition Squad dwindling in numbers, to say the least. How are they going to survive this? How are they going to hold out? What is the plan here? Already some support coming out, even though it is early, not even 7 a.m. in the morning, and we've had so much paint getting thrown out. It's a 3-3 advantage, at the equal advantage at the moment. Make that 4-3 on Anaconda Patrol. So that's good to see. That's 4-3 guns. What is Demolition Squad going to do? Good communication coming from the left-hand side of the field. Demolition Squad loses another player. They are aware of that half break. A big snake play. Lots of paint being thrown down. I can't see what's happening. They've picked him up off that half break. The teabags, he's getting zoned in because the snakes cross-fielded him, and then the teabag players took him out. That does look like Demolition Squad is out. Half your time being used there, though. See,
Towel.
Demolition
Towel.
Squad realizing, let's throw in the
approved.
towel, save as much time as possible, see what we can do there. Congrats, though, to Anaconda Patrol taking their first point for a Friday morning. Your next set of teams, though, 30 seconds, we're going to see Brutal Affliction 3 versus the Syndicate. I love that.
30 seconds.
Absolutely sounds John Dillinger gangster, the Syndicate. For those of you who don't know, John Dillinger was a gangster
20 seconds.
in 20s, 30s America who was quite a cultural icon amongst the poor, but a gangster nonetheless.
10 seconds.
Here's your 10-second counter. Left to right will be Brutal Affliction 3 in that telltale purple.
Game on.
And then the Syndicate, the mobsters, the gangsters. Let's see how gang their performance is on the field today. Brutal Affliction loses one off the break. Moves a play up into the 50 brick, but gets called out. These bricks are really going to play a big role on your screen on that right-hand side of the snake. There's another snake player in there. Who's that? I do believe that's Kukumur hiding in that 50 snake. Just with his head popping up there a little bit. Ooh, screen change, no worries. We'll get back to him at some stage. He's been called out, though. Kukumur wearing that. He's out of that snake. Brutal moving up a play onto the short temple. He wants to move into that three-quarter brick. Syndicate moving a play into the snake. He's on the furthest layer of the snake, not in the middle. Oh, this paint, these bounces, this is getting ridiculous. This is not a safe place to be. I want danger pay. Syndicate moving a player up halfway up the field. Now they move on those bricks on the teabag side, because there's bricks on the snake side and the teabag side.
Towel.
Towel thrown
Towel.
in by
Pointed
Brutal Affliction 3. Syndicate playing well there, picking off well. They take their first point. Brutal won't be happy with that outcome, though. They feel they would have maybe stepped up a bit better, but they were almost there. Oy. Interesting stuff. Let's hope nobody wears it in the
30
face.
seconds.
Safety is key at the SARPL. But there was your first point going to the mobsters. That is the Syndicate against Brutal Affliction 3. We go back to Anaconda
20
Patrol
seconds.
and Demolition Squad. Anaconda leading at the moment. They'll be breaking right to left. Demolition Squad, they do have over 3 minutes to try and make something happen.
10 seconds.
Head ref Byron van Staden on your screen there, all the way from PE.
Game on.
Oh, there's going to be an early player break called. I think so, maybe not. I think he just got his gun down in time. They've lost 1-2 off the breaker respectively, though. That is Demolition Squad I am talking about. This is exactly what they would not have wanted. This means that Anaconda Patrol in the firm front seat here on this Division 4 5-man. Good communication coming out on my right-hand side, which is Anaconda Patrol leading at the moment 1-0. Moving up into that snake there.
Towel. Towel.
Towel thrown in.
Point approved. Game finished.
There you heard it, point finish. So there you have it, Anaconda Patrol absolutely going down 2-0 to Demolition Squad. Demos are winning 2-0 there. That's another game, another set, and these things are happening here. Wow, quick
30
stick.
seconds.
On your screen, you'll see Brutal Affliction 3 versus the mobsters, that is the Syndicate. They very much have a smarty, higgledy-piggledy set of jerseys on them, and Brutal
20
Affliction in
seconds.
their telltale purple and blue. See Johan Kutzer and Jared Rue making their way over. Let's see what they can do to try bring back a
10
point
seconds.
for their team. Remember, there's lots of time to be played, though, so that's not a worry. They have 5 minutes left in this Mercy 2 game.
Game on.
Brutal coming out with a bit of force this time. It seems that player's been called out on the Syndicate. One mobster down. Running out on that teabag side. Make that 2 mobsters down. Haven't seen anyone leave the field for Brutal. In your corner there, 2 Syndicate players on that 3-quarter brick just before the Snakes. Brutal player moving in the background. And then that safety temple snakeside bunker. Now for Brutal, I believe there's a Kukumur in that snake 50. I'm not sure it is on that 3-quarter brick on the Brutal side. Player wearing it in the chest for Brutal. He's out, but he made sure he took the other one out as well. Towel thrown in.
Point approved.
And Brutal did enough to bring that point back. They'll be happy with that. Absolutely wonderful stuff, meaning it ties up at 1 apiece. the mobsters, the gangsters that is Syndicate would have thought maybe they could have brought that back. Well, not brought it back, but just wrapped it up and then unlucky not to. But Brutal Affliction came out hot. They knew what they needed to do and represented accordingly. So that's a 1-1 tie there at the moment. Over 4 minutes left to play. Remember, it's Mercy 2, so you have to win by 2. So 1 point's not going to be enough here. Or it might be, but depending on the time on how this plays out. But then we're looking at then the next set after that. This is supposed to be your 7 o'clock set, almost coming up. We're not far behind. We're already catching up the time. So if you do have the English, Adam, the schedule in front of you, you should be able to start following it nicely all the way coming. Our next set will include a Brasa van die Carp, my favorite name in the whole league, against Team Hooligan, who played this morning, and X Factor versus Doomsday Raptors. Oh, Division 4 is an interesting one. Lots of contention, it must be said. These teams play with their absolute hearts out, that is for sure. 40 seconds between Brutal Affliction 3 and Team Syndicate. The mobsters, the gangsters. Oh, I'm excited to see Brasa van die Carp. It's been a long time. It sounds like a Jeremy Loop song.
"30 seconds.
30-second counters. Brutal Affliction, will they be able to carry that point momentum going through, or will Syndicate see what they've done wrong and work on fixing it?
Timeout.
Timeout called on Brutal Affliction side, so they're going to want a bit more time. It's interesting that they called it when they seem to have most of the players on the field at the moment.
One minute.
One minute to see who takes the point here. Already, like I said, contentious. We're not here to play games, eh? This might be a sport, but we take it very seriously. On your screen, actually, you're going to see that layout that I'm talking about. I've mentioned the snake and those 3/4 bricks there as well. But that central cluster of bunkers really doesn't give much cover, and it's so easy to get split in the blind lanes
30
that
seconds.
it really has shut down open play in the middle of the field and pushed players wide on the teabag and wide on the snake side, having to push 2 at once.
20 seconds.
Meaning that teams that are only strong on one particular side, so they will generally win their points on the snake side or the teabag side, are running into some problems because this is about being all rounded
10
as a
seconds.
setup. And that's quite important for these teams. But there's your counter. Brutal Affliction will be breaking a left to right. Team Syndicate right to left.
Game on.
That's Brutal on your screen now, going wide. As you can see, they're playing a bit more defensively. Syndicate doing the exact opposite, nice and aggressive. Straight up into that snake 50. Look at that paint being thrown out. Absolutely heavenly. Gotta love it. Gotta watch that hopper hit here, the Syndicate player in the middle of the snake 50. You can see how close they are. Picks up the Brutal player. He stays clear himself, though. On your screen, that was a great show up. Which Brutal player was, and no idea. Moving up, look at this aggression by the Syndicate player in the red. He's taken one. Brutal loses a player now on the far teabag side. This is not what they would have wanted. A lot of paint being thrown down. Players being called, I believe, with a yellow flag. Penalty on Brutal. This is not what they would have wanted.
Towel.
There we go. Brutal
Towel.
had to redo that with losing 2 to 3 players and then a yellow flag. Oi, we're going to find out from head ref Byron van Staden what that was for. I'm almost sure it's for playing on after the hit, but let's see if something different does happen. But what this means now is Syndicate takes a 2-1 lead. This is not what Brutal Affliction would have wanted. I feel they got picked up once or twice too easily. Then on top of that, a yellow flag. It seemed that the two refs saw it at the same time, but on different sides of the field, because one was called here on the far side and then the near side as well. Hey, Brutal Affliction, what happened? We head ref Byron van Staden coming up to have his words.
Hit on the arm, played on.
So as it is standard, it always seems to be getting played on. Like, can we have interesting new fouls? Playing on after being hit on the arm, you cannot get the flags. If I say it once, getting fouls gets you points to your opponent. Simple as that. You can't give away these points. Does mean Syndicate takes the lead, though.
1 minute.
This is your 1 minute counter. On your screen, that red jersey player, not sure of his name, absolutely aggressive. for Syndicate. It was very good to see, actually. Moved into the Snake 50, into the middle of the Snake 50, even making it across the other side, making sure he picked up players as opposed to otherwise. Survivability is key. Brutal will be feeling the pressure, that's for sure as well. Johan Kutzer, Jared Rue again will be trying to make sure and see what they can do to try and get a point for their team. Of course, all of Brutal will be working hard here. 20 seconds. There's over 3 minutes left to be played. Remember, if Syndicate win this in Mercy 2 rules, they're going to take the point. They win the set. But if Brutal pulls one back here, heavens above. See this contention already happening. They have swapped sides, so Brutal breaking right to left. On your screen, Brutal Affliction showing some aggression in Snake. Showing some aggression in Snake. Seems as well that now both refs are checking each player. Called out, unlucky this time to make it from the break. The Brutal player is that Kokomu made it into Snake clear. I see another Syndicate player going down. Oh, is Brutal coming back? Is Syndicate throwing it away? This happened for a point earlier. Can Brutal bring it back? I've seen 3 Syndicate players go down. That was quite a pretty damn good staccato over there. Bring up the snare drum. I'm not sure if you can hear that in the background. A little bit of a tune there. A merry jaunt. Syndicate struggling though. They're going to have to bring down, just try and wind that clock down. But what this means is
Towel.
All the opposites. Towel thrown in by the mobsters. Syndicate gives the point to Brutal Affliction. This is not what they wanted. This is twice Syndicate have taken a lead and thrown it away. But on the same side of that, flip side of that coin rather, this is the second time Brutal Affliction has gone down and brought it back. Control is key here. Consistency is key. That was a great run into Snake by Kokomura, making it in. I believe it was Kokomura. I do stand to be corrected. Making it all the way into the Snake from the break without getting picked off. It was quite interesting, though, because Syndicate had the exact same idea. But he, unfortunately, got picked off going in. So, you know, was it legs? Was it pace? Was it better shooting on opposing times? How are we going to do this? Oi, interesting stuff. Still a bit of cloud cover, but it has cleared already here at the Emerald Casino and Resort. Emerald Resort and Casino, rather. Super Cup 2018. Exciting stuff. We're not even at the big games yet. And it's building, and building.
1 minute. Seconds.
There's your 30-second counter. This game it's a high-scoring one. Let's call it what it is. A hell of a high-scoring game here between Brutal Affliction 3 and Syndicate, because there is still over 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 2 minutes 41 to be precise, as I'm sure your screen tells you. And for 4 points to have happened in that time shows that both these teams trying to be very aggressive, trying to make points happen. It's all been towels though. So one could argue that it is silly mistakes, not leading to survivability. That will be the Syndicate on your screen. And now, big Brutal run into Snake again. I'm almost sure it's Kokomura again, throwing down some paint. Syndicate losing a play on the far teabag side. Another player getting checked. He's cleared though. Brutal changing up their game. They used to play very defensively. Now they've got the teabag player there. They used to play very defensively, employing a lot of 4 players back bunkers. And I've been told that apparently that cannot be done on this field. The field just doesn't allow it. You're going to get picked up. And that quarter brick on Brutal side being utilized now as well on your screen there. That's what I call the quarter brick. Of course, you get the quarter brick on the other side, also on the reverse side of the field. They're being utilized often, and they're really changing things up for the players here at the SARPL Super Cup 2018. Just under 2 minutes are left to be played. It's all tied up at 2 apiece between Brutal Affliction 3 and the mobsters that is the Syndicate. Brutal moving a player up. 2 players up into the Snake 50. Player called out. There's a lot of paint being thrown in Snake. No one getting picked up just yet. Some paint's going to head our way. This is going to be terrible. You can see him trying to throw paint all the way across the field there. Picks up his player. Picks up his own brutal player. Bit of blue on blue friendlies. Made sure that the Syndicate was picked up though. I think Syndicate is done. Bit of friendly there. That's what happens when you run in lanes. 60 seconds left. They're going to try waste time, or they're going for that buzzer. Base hit. Brutal Affliction 3. If cleared, takes the lead 3-2. Who was this taking somewhere? I think it was De Beer, who wore a couple in the back there after the lane was thrown down. But again, it shows this field that I was talking about. These separate approaches coming in. Absolutely spectacular. Point approved. The Brutal Affliction 3 takes the lead 3-2. There's still a minute left to be played. Mercy 2. Ui, so much action here. That's a 5-point thriller with still time left on the clock. Can Syndicate bring it back? It is Mercy 2 Division 4, so I do believe that if it is a tie, it is a tied game, split points. They don't go into any overtimes or anything like that just yet.
Who's on that side? Did you let Andre come under? No, just let Andre know.
If you are listening at home, my name is Adam Zavada, keeping you busy for the next 3 days. Let me know if you have any questions, anything you want to know about. I'll try and make sure we can get that information for you. Leave a comment. Tell your friends and family to come have a look. But as I said, leave a comment on the stream. I do believe we're doing streams by division. So obviously when this division's done, next division. So there will be 3 or 4 separate streams throughout the day. But it's easier to follow, though, when it comes to who's playing and who's who in the zoo. So let us know if you have any questions, anything you want to know. I've got Paul sitting right next to me. He'll be happy to answer anything on the stream. Obviously, we can talk it out. If you have any shout-outs, happy to throw those out there as well. You're also welcome to follow us on the Twitter and Facebook, respectively. So get involved. Let us know. Tell your friends and family. This is some interesting paintball being played. Only Division 4 and already 5-point thrillers in under 5 minutes. It is absolutely belligerent.
20 seconds.
There you heard it as well, though. 20 seconds.
10 seconds.
There's your counter. Teams would have swapped. So Syndicate breaking a left to right, looking for a point. Brutal Affliction on your screen, a right to left. There's that big break, though, looking for those bunkers. Makes it into that Snake 50 all the way. Syndicate not throwing a Snake player this time. All that quarter brick on their side, focusing a bit of teabag and then defensive on the Snake side. As I say that, quarter brick being utilized on your screen there. Look how close those players are. Absolutely, like I said earlier, you could spit quarter brick now on the Brutal side being used. Absolutely close. They're mirroring one another. Syndicate loses their brick player. I've seen 2 guns down for Syndicate. It looks like Brutal could be walking away from this. I see another Syndicate player down. I see Brutal has lost one as well. Hendrik de Beer, it seems. They've lost Kukumur out of their Snake corner as well. Good comms coming up. This is Rue in that Snake 1 just on the corner of your screen. His head peeking up just above that bunker.
Game time finished. Game finished.
Game finished. Would you look at that? I was even losing track of time. Too much paint being thrown out. But there you have it. Brutal Affliction coming from 1-0 down, then tying it up 1-1. 2-1 down, then tying it up 2-2, then taking a 3rd point there. Congrats to Brutal Affliction 3. The Syndicate might be getting a little annoyed at themselves. I think they feel that they could have wanted to be there as well. They could have taken that home. But unfortunately, not to be. So there you have it. Brutal Affliction 3 beating the Syndicate. And, of course, Anaconda Patrol and Demolition Squad playing earlier. Your next set, though, my favorite team name in the whole Super Cup 2018, Abrasa van die Carp, against the predominantly female side that is Team Hooligan. They played quite well this morning, struggling a little bit. Then X Factor versus Doomsday Raptors. My name is Adam Zavada. Don't go anywhere. More paintball coming at you live from Super Cup 2018.
Right, next set of games, starting Abrasa van die Carp and X Factor in the left pit. Team
There you have it. Welcome back to Super Cup 2018. My name is Adam Zavada. Already the sun has come out. It is getting bright, ladies and folks. As bright as the future of paintball, that is, because the Brasa van die Carp, I'm assuming a Western Cape team. It must be. Has to be. Love it. My favorite team name in the whole tournament. Absolutely love it. But let's see if their paintball lives up to their naming abilities when they go up against Team Hooligans. Predominantly female side who played very well this morning. Let's see if they can clutch some points there. The next set, of course, will be X Factor versus Doomsday Raptors. Doomsday winning their first of the morning at 6 a.m. Yo, the things we do for the sports we love. 20-second countdown. Remember, Brasa van die Carp will be breaking a left to right. Onthou, ek is eintlik 'n Engelsman, maar as jy wil Afrikaans praat, ons kan vir al die Afrikaans mense daar. Ek's van Pretoria. Jy kan nie gesou teen Pretoria en nie wees en nie Afrikaans praat nie. But back to the English and back to the paintball. On your screen, Team Hooligan.
Game on.
Big run into Snake. Will she make it? Big slide, but Brasa van die Carp have done the same thing. They're aware of one another. There's a big shootout. One down, make that two down. Both out there. The big exchange between BVK and Team Hooligan. Both did well to make it into that Snake. Action-packed already. Brasa van die Carp looking a bit defensive in your previous shot. Team Hooligan there on your screen, throwing down some paint on that teabag corner. From the teabag corner, rather. How is this panning out? Lots of paint being thrown down. Remember the earliest game, the first game that Hooligan played against Doomsday Raptor was quite slow. Not slow in a negative way, but slow in a way that they both took their time, didn't rush it. Team Hooligan did have this knack of starting really well and throwing away a couple advantages, which I'm sure they will want to avoid doing again. Not what they want whatsoever. They're going to want to take control and keep that control throughout the point. It's a beautiful angle of the field there. That's a Brasa van die Carp player there on the corner in that Snake safety corner getting checked by a ref. I do believe that is head ref Byron van Staden having a look there, cleared him. There you see them playing a little more defensively. That's a great shot as well of the three Hooligan players there in Teabag 1, Teabag 2, moving a play up into that temple as well. Then they've got that safe snake side bunker, so it looks 4-3 or at least 4. I do think Hooligan has 4, I know that. But how many do Brasa van die Carp have? Is it 3 or 4? Let's have a look-see doodle. I really need to come up with a new name for that, though. Look-see doodle just isn't going to cut it. So far, though, Brasa van die Carp from naming abilities and paintball, not quite on par. They're going to have to clutch the point to prove me otherwise. Remember, they're limited on paint. Again, this seems like to be a slower round as opposed to some of the other points. Seeing some nice shout-outs on the stream here already. Brasa Carp from Dirt Crew Paintball, BVK, exclamation mark. Also Sean Dennis Reed, also at BVK, wishing them good luck out on the field today. Well, I'm sure all the teams deserve it, but definitely it's good to see some support coming all the way from the Cape there. They've made the long journey, so it's good to see the future of paintball making that happen. Time has gone, less paint being thrown. They're going to have to be careful here. Player cleared out on that far quarter brick on the far side, on the teabag side. As you can hear in the background, Mike not picking up many shots because there's not many of them. Team Hooli move up a player into the quarter brick on the teabag side as well. These quarter bricks on the field are causing absolute chaos because you get the quarter bricks on each side, teabag and snake side. Then you get another quarter brick exactly on the 50-yard line, but they're still far out, not in the middle. Hooligan moving up a player into that said snake corner brick. What's happening here though? Has he been picked up? He has been pulled out. Brasa van die Carp asking for a play on that, a check on that quarter brick. He's cleared as well. Literally, those both quarter bricks on the far side are literally mirroring one another between BVK and Hooligan. Good communication from Hooli. 5-man, always so action-packed, eh? BVK having... oh, no, that's Team Hooligan, actually. Apologies on your screen now in that corner bunker. So I've got, he's been picked out though. Not what you want on that defensive position. This seems again Hooligan having a bit of a lead and letting it go. This is not what they would have wanted. Good communication. Anaconda van die Carp lose a safety bunker player. That quarter brick player moving up. I've lost him. There's going to be a crossfield snake against that quarter brick Hooligan player. She's going to get squeezed if she's not careful. I do believe it's a 2-on-1. There's the exchange, forcing it. She's been picked up. Anaconda van die Carp proving their paintball as well as their naming ability. But look at how long that point was. Over 5 minutes. They do hit the base there. Well done, Team Hooligan, for holding out so long. Anaconda van die Carp, your naming ability as well as your ability on the field now cannot be questioned within the constructs of Division 4. Well done. But it's not done. What do they say? It only is done when the fat lady sings or when the cow jumps over the moon. Different rhymes, but it still works. Only less than a minute 20 left in that point, but it doesn't mean Team Hooligan can't come back. BVK, as you heard in the background, screaming in ecstasy. Very happy with that result there. Let's see if they can bring back another point. But on to the next set. We must move swiftly along on to X Factor versus Doomsday Raptors. Raptors will be breaking right to left and X Factor left to right.
20 seconds.
So this should be interesting to see. How is this going to play out? Remember that we've, after this, one more set and then we move into the AFCON games.
10 seconds.
There's your counter. X Factor breaking left to right.
Game on.
It's X Factor's first game of the day. So I don't know if they're going to be warm in this weather. Already seeing Doomsday Raptors losing a player there. They played this morning against Team Hooligan and came out on top, winning their points there. So they should be warm in this morning. Already warmer, so to speak. So this is about X Factor turning on because Doomsday have come to play. Good communication coming on both sides. That snake being absolutely peppered. Peppered, I say. Seeing some players drop on the Raptor side, not what they would have wanted. X Factor moving up as we speak. On your screen, Justin van Vieren on Raptor's side. In that little back Mayan temple there on his kneecaps. You can see the bullet spraying up close to his shoes there, not wearing a hit. Seems that he's almost stuck there, can't go left or right. Making himself thin, eh? He is making himself thin there, quite successfully, I might add. Oh, where's one on the shoulder? That's you done, meneer. Unlucky. That's X Factor. They come to play. Raptors, I think, a little shell-shocked at the moment. Another player called on Raptors' side, and that results in the towel being thrown in because of it. There you have it, though.
Approved.
There was me talking or worrying about X Factor turning on, and they came out to play. Taking the first point there, but it is back to Anaconda van die Carp versus Team Hooligan. Hooligan will have to pick up their game. They're getting so close. And then just not quite managing to put it up on the scoreboard where it matters. Anaconda van die Carp showing lots of tenacity in their previous round. Also support on the feed. Absolutely loving the comments. Keep them coming in. I'm sure everyone appreciates it. I know I do, so I know I'm not alone in the world as well, of course. But there's only about a minute, under a minute 20 here. Team Hooligan in front of your screen at the moment, knowing they're going to have to hustle, and that they do. Breaking a left to right, Team Hooligan. Anaconda van die Carp on the right. Where's the aggression? Oh, big run up by both teams on that quarter break for BVK. Hooligan to the more of a center field. Snake's been left alone. Teabag seems quite action-packed. Not seeing anyone dropped off the break. Good communication coming out from the ladies of Team Hooligan. Really communicating well. When head ref Byron from Staden moves out of my shot, we'd get a better view. Thank you. There you can see that big temple bunker. There's a Anaconda van die Carp player there on that quarter break being utilized. Team Hooligan communicating beautifully, as I said. Look how close that is. You could spit and hit one another on this field. Anaconda van die Carp, the boys from Cape Town, speaking well, hearing great communication. player in the Anthrax jersey thrown out of that quarter break. He's been picked up. Hooligan moving up into the opposite corner, asking for a check. She seems clear though. There's that can, bunker, and quarter break being utilized by Team Hooligan. Now Snake as well. 3 girls on this far Snake side. Really, really trying to push across. Brasafani Cup has 2 across.
Game finished.
But there we go. Game time finished. Team Hooligan did well to hold out. But Brasafani Cup all the way from the Cape Town, the best name in tournament, holding firm and taking their first game of the day. Congratulations, boys. And it means the next set, though. Out of breath here. This is going to be a long, long Friday. I'll tell you that much.
Seconds.
We're still on the other match of the set, though. X Factor versus Doomsday Raptors on your screen. X Factor taking the first score. Doomsday Raptors winning earlier this morning, so they thought they would have been warm, but they're almost shell-shocked by how X Factors came out as a professional team there.
10 seconds.
I must admit, I'm a big fan of Doomsday Raptors because they make my job very easy to just pick up which player is which, unlike some teams who I think purposefully do it.
Game on.
There's your break on. They have swapped sides, so remember that X Factor right to left. Player called out. Was it with a flag though? No, player just called, not flagged. I see Doomsday's lost another player on that far bunker though. This is not what they would have wanted. Ooh, that look, who's that? Tian Brink. Yes, it is Tian Brink for. Oh, you wear it. Yeah, wearing that to the side of the head and a bit of the hopper there for X Factor, immediately replacing him with another player in that bunker. But Doomsday Raptors holding 2 in that similar position as well, almost mirroring it. Oh, camera, wear it, my son. We're going to have to get that cleaned up. Wear it in the teeth, in the long tooth of the law. X Factor moving up. It does seem that Doomsday Raptors have been picked up. They're safety corner on the Snake side, but they are aware of him. They're going to pick him up soon. There's 3 of them circling, taking him out there as well. This is not what Doomsday Raptors would have wanted. They felt strong, and there goes X Factor. Looks like they're going to whitewash that 2-0.
Base.
We'll wait for that point approval, but that seriously just looks like a change of tactics that have just come completely right. I mean, one can argue that X Factors came out on this field and clearly just knew what they were doing from the start. But one can't say Doomsday Raptors didn't, because they stepped up to the plate and won their original point. So what we're going to do is take a quick breather as the next teams get ready. X Factor will be back in action, back-to-back games against Team Hooligan, also back-to-back. And then we're going Anaconda Patrol versus the Mobsters, that is the Syndicate. My name is Adam Zavada. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back.
Paul, there's no provincials now.
take my hand and we'll go away to a different place. Float on air and we'll hide away. I'll be your escape. Look up and feel the shifting winds tossing us around again. Hold tight, get ready to begin and just levitate.
Welcome back to the Super Cup 2018, presented by the SARPL, happening at the Emerald Resort and Casino. Just about a minute left into our last set of Division 4 5-mans until we shoot into the AFCON. Remember, we do change feeds per different divisions and so on and so on. So once Divisions 4 is done, get on hop on the next feed.
30 seconds.
Then we'll have the AFCON live for you, also for the 3-man respectively, just after 3 o'clock. But yes, jumping into back-to-back games, X Factor playing back-to-back,
20 seconds.
as is Team Hooligans. Hooligans been playing quite well. X Factor so far unbeaten in the morning. And then Anaconda Patrol versus the Syndicate. Yeah.
10 seconds.
There's your 10-second counter. Hooligan will be breaking right to left on your screen. On your screen now, matter of fact.
Game on.
Big break again. Straight into the snake. She made it. Well done. Well done. Big snake. A bit of the defensive approach. I think that brick's going to be used. Teabag 1 being used. There's a safety snake bunker in that snake 1 position. Make that quarter brick now for X Factor. Trying to open up some angles, it seems. Seems that a Team Hooligan girl has been picked off there. Good communication from the ladies in that short temple bunker and that teabag 1. Does seem X Factor still on that quarter brick and snake wing. Getting X Factor losing that player there. Good shooting from Hooligan. Hooligan has this amazing knack of drawing out points. Moving up to that quarter brick from that temple, as I was saying, Hooligan has this knack of drawing out points, taking their time. It's clearly a tactic of theirs. It's just sometimes it just lacks that final clutch drop of the last player to take the point. Like it's tough to explain because they really have played quite well. It just hasn't really been showing on the scoreboard. X Factor came out hot though. They turned on this morning, that's for damn sure, and winning the points for that. Let's see if they can carry on that momentum, old X Factor, or is there a shift in the winds? X Factor player being sneaky. He's gone for the sneaky approach into Snake. Don't think Team Hooligan's aware of him. Not a lot of paint being thrown out. Both teams trying their utter best, but to be fair, your best doth butter no parsnips. One has to get it on the scoreboard where it matters. It's not how you get it, but that you get it. Team Hooligan loses their teabag player. Player's been called now out on X Factor, so it looked like a bit of exchange. That quarter brick Team Hooligan player picked off, just showing a bit too much of the skill of the body out of that bunker.
Hey, Snake's a kill.
X Factor, Tian Brink almost wearing one to the top of the forehead there, moving another player up on that far teabag side. So Hooligan do have a player in that far on your screen now in that far teabag bunker, but it does seem to be a 2-on-1. And this is exactly like I mentioned earlier. They want to push now, though. Miscommunication. One player went and not the other. This is exactly what I mentioned earlier with Hooligan. Standing firm, drawing the point out, not making it easy. And then, unfortunately, just lacking that last few clutch plays to put the points on the board. X Factor taking out the ladies. And now they're going to be moving up to that base. There is 2 on the field. So we shall see. Seems X Factor's best trying hard did butter some parsnips because it seems that they're going to walk away with a point. Let's talk quietly, because even though Hooligan have this tactic of drawing out, X Factor have not hit the button. They're trying to be a little snooky.
Towel.
There
Towel.
you have it.
Towel.
They were hiding behind some bunkers
Point
there.
approved.
Yes, I'd get frustrated. I would lose my bracket a little bit, but it's all part of the game and it's all part of the tactics. Team Hooligan being smart, though, they picked it up without too much time being wasted. There was some sneaky bunker hiding, that was for sure. I think he tied his laces at least for the 4th time in a row there.
30 seconds.
But X Factor taking the lead 1-0 in their set of Division 4 5-man. Next set of teams, Anaconda Patrol versus Syndicate.
20
Syndicate
seconds.
so far unbeaten themselves, only playing their first one at around 6:30. It was about closer to 6:45. We were a bit behind time, but they did well. They won there against
10
Brutal.
seconds.
No, they lost, sorry, against Brutal Affliction. My apologies. Yes, Brutal Affliction did beat Syndicate, so Syndicate will be wanting to come back, rather. Anaconda Patrol as well will be breaking left
Game
to
on.
right. Big run out through the quarter brick on Syndicate side. Anaconda Patrol trying to mirror it, but got broke off on the break. Syndicate showed some good aggression earlier. Good communication coming out from Syndicate, hearing it from that quarter brick. On your screen, or was on your screen there as well, actually. You can still see that quarter brick player now mirrored on the Anaconda Patrol side. See how I mean, how close those bunkers are. Look at that, beautiful. The day is beautiful. Look at those clouds in the background. Absolutely spectacular. Ooh, big exchange, big exchange. He's been picked off. They've picked off each other. Snake doing a big exchange there. You saw quite a few hits being thrown out. Got picked off across field as well from that teabag position. So it was a bit of a, I think you could hear a bit of a, and I think he felt he might have been a little overshot, but it was from 2 different places. So one of those things. And remember, these balls move, what, 10.2 balls a second, I believe? 10.5 balls a second. I stand to be, that was duly corrected. And I mean, really? One Mississippi, bang, 10.5 balls. That's how quick that happens. To be fair, the players all know this. But Dana Vilmos, so you're not going to get sympathy from us, that's for sure. Syndicate losing that back teabag, or not back, but they lost a teabag player. Carp for Anaconda Patrol there on your screen. In that temple, short temple bunker. But time's passed now, not teams throwing down as much paint. Three to 2 advantage, gun advantage to Anaconda Patrol. So Syndicate holding out, maybe hoping if they can get a pick off from 2 to 2 on 2. The point's still up for grabs. Ooh, a bit of pod sharing there, that's fair enough. There's your 3 Anaconda Patrol players there. Leaving the snake side open though, but Syndicate's not able to take advantage of it, causing big problem there. Good communication coming out from Anaconda Patrol. Happy to take their time, no rush to move forward whatsoever. As you can hear, barely any shots in the background. As I say it, some bouncers hit us. Slowly moving up Anaconda Patrol on the teabag side. They're going to duke it off soon. There's the Syndicate player down. There's that Anaconda player moving up on that teabag side. Slowly, not rushing it. I do think that's Syndicate done. So that means Anaconda Patrol is going to take the first point. Quite a long point. They're not sure though. They think there's still a player out, but that is not the case. A slow saunter and meander. The communication could have been a little smoother.
Towel. Towel.
There you have it, towel thrown in
Point
after
approved.
2 minutes after a long time being played. Just shy of 4 minutes there. Seems Anaconda Patrol will take the first point with Syndicate. Syndicate being a bit harsh, a bit unlucky to not get on the board. Not necessarily this point, but in previous ones as well. Let's see what they can do. Now the warm team that is X Factor is going to get on the
30
board now.
seconds.
They're going to have to pay attention because they've got everything to lose, whilst Team Hooligans, the underdogs, are going to come in hot. They're going to want to come back for revenge. Let's see what the
20
ladies can do.
seconds.
They have swapped sides, so Hooligan will be breaking left to right. You would have seen them on your screen as you did X Factor moving to the opposite
10
side.
seconds.
Wee, are they going to make it in time? Time's going down. I don't think Hooligan's going to go. They're losing a player. A lot of paint being thrown down. Heavens. Hooligan loses a player as well. Not good. X Factor will be wanting to wrap this up. Remember, Division 4, Mercy 2. If Hooligan don't pull a point back here, it will be done. Only 2 minutes left to play. X Factor, who is that? I believe that's Van Wyk. Is that Charlie? Callan. I believe that's Callan Van Wyk in that Snake 50 position. Good communication. Moving up into the next one as well. Lodge. Oh, that three-quarter brick already showing itself for Team Hooligan. Picks up Van Wyk out of that Snake corner. X Factor moving up on the far side. There is a Team Hooligan on the third quarter brick. They're not aware that she's there though. She's moving up into that Snake 50. Lots of paint coming our way. The Matrix, she does get picked up because X Factor could move across. The poor girl was left on her own. Not much she can do against three. And that's that. X Factor looks like they're going to mercy to that. One of Team Hooligan's weaker rounds. Normally they hold a bit stronger. There seem to be some communications. They were a bit slow to get off the start and break. I do have some questions I must ask there. But X Factor looks like they're going to take it mercy to 2-0. It is your 60-second counter. They're going to take their time. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, they said I push it before 10 seconds. You know, 4 seconds is your call to make. I'm not gonna.
Base.
Base hit for X Factor. Let's see what they can do. Obviously waiting on point confirmation.
Point approved.
There you
Game
have it.
finished.
X Factor beating Team Hooligan 2-0, which means we move on to Anaconda Patrol and the Syndicate. I'm going to have a quick sip of water. Don't worry, I'll be right back.
Fine if they're on the field at the 10.
There you have it. We're going to have Anaconda Patrol versus Syndicate. What is going to happen? There's only over 2 minutes to be played.
Game on.
They've swapped sides, so it's going to be Syndicate on your break. Big break into Snake. One into Snake 1, and then that three-quarter brick. Anaconda Patrol immediately mirror the brick. They do lose a play on that far safety teabag bunker. They immediately mirror what was I saying now? The three-quarter brick. They're wanting to keep the Snake line shut down. This is the last set of Division 4 5-man until we go into AFCON games. I see both teams already losing a player. Was that Dwayne Malan? I think it was Dwayne. It seems that Anaconda Patrol losing some bodies. It's not what they would have wanted because now they could have wrapped it up Mercy too. Now they're struggling. Syndicate playing. They're coming out hot Syndicate here. They seem to have realized their mistake. They have lost the big man in the back though. A lot of paint in the Snake side. I'm loving the Snake action here. There's going to be a bunkering here. Big bunkering. What happened there? Both players wearing it. Both players leaving. Anaconda Patrol realizing, man, we'll take it. Well, let's just get him out of there.
Last one.
Wearing it in the head, Syndicate, as well. But it's okay. That's why we wear masks. Not quite sure what the gun count is at the
60
moment.
seconds.
Because I've seen bodies coming and going respectively. Anaconda Patrol is going to want to sit this out, though. They've got less than a minute. If they can survive this, they're going to win it 1-0. This is about survivability, though. As I mentioned, this is the last set of the Division 4 5-man, so we move into AFCON. That should be going on at about 8-ish. Kicks off from about 8 until just 1:15-ish. So lots. It is a 2-2 balance at the moment. We've got a gun count up. Anaconda Patrol will be happy to sit back. And Syndicate will want a point here. Try and draw it up. Only about 20 seconds left. So we're going from 8 until about 1. We've got AFCON. Then some 3-man being thrown in to mix things up. Very exciting stuff. It's been an interesting morning, to say the least. Not too hot. It's actually been beautiful, beautiful weather. There's that Syndicate play on that quarter break.
Game time finished. Game finished.
Oh, sorry, not Syndicate. I do believe that was Anaconda Patrol. But there you have it. Anaconda Patrol winning 1-0 against Syndicate in the end of Division 4 5-man. We're going to kill this stream and move on to the next one because it is AFCON. It is Gauteng under 19s, Western Cape, Eastern Cape. So much still happening here. Absolutely wonderful. My name is Adam Zawada, coming at you live from Super Cup 2018 at the Emerald Resort and Casino. We'll see you on the next stream, and so don't go anywhere.